Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Sticka Conrad, and I'll be talking to you today a little bit about leadership and the different types of leadership and even the difference between leadership and management. So let's get started. First of all, a lot of people confuse the concepts of management and leadership. And to tell you the truth, they're very, very different things. So, for example, management, when we think of management or what we understand management to be today, we understand management to be a process of either dealing with or controlling people or a situation, right? You're managing the situation, okay? What do managers, people in management, do? They typically they plan, right? They organize. They may even coordinate, right? They may even put teams or groups together, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. We need people like that, right? But basically, they are there often to maintain the status quo. They keep things running, they keep things going. On the flip side of that, there is leadership. And leadership takes sort of a different view of where people need to go. So, for example, leadership can a lot of times be defined by bringing people or a team together to achieve a common goal, which is different from making sure everybody does their jobs, right? So, how do people lead? People lead by inspiring. People lead by motivating, and people lead by encouraging. Okay, and generally speaking, leaders are much more forward-thinking and progressive people than just strict managers. Now, it's possible to be both a manager and a leader, but oftentimes they are not the same thing. So, in terms of leadership, now let's shift tracks a little bit. What types of leadership are there? Now, there are many, many types of leadership, but very generally speaking, the first, we can sort of categorize them very generally into amoral leaders and to leaders that are value-based, okay? So what's the difference, right? So an amoral leader, what would an amoral leader be? Not immoral, right? Immoral means doing the wrong thing. That's not what we're talking about, right? Amoral meaning without a specific set of beliefs or ethics to support one's, philosophy or whatever they're doing. So an amoral leader, what kind of characteristics would that person have? They would certainly be intelligent, okay? They may even be highly sociable. They may be very determined people, very focused people. They may even be they may have a lot of integrity and self-confidence. Oftentimes, as most leaders are, very charismatic, right? They catch people's attention. And if you look at some of the early 20th century leaders, you may, some of the heads of state, you will see some of these people. Not necessarily the best ethics in terms of what we think, right? What might be good ethics, but nevertheless, they were charismatic, they were efficient, they had low turnover, they were profitable, right? They were innovative, but there were no real ethics that backed up or supported what they did. The opposite of that would be values-based leadership. And there's two main kinds. There's more than that, but there's two main kinds. There's transactional and there's transformational, right? So there is a difference between those two. So again, values-based leadership, two main kinds. There's transactional and transformational. Transactional are leaders that reward the good, they punish the bad. They're very rules and compliance based, very much into power brokering, and sort of controlling the environment. Sounds a little bit like management. It's a little bit more progressive than that, though. Transformational leadership, though, I think is where we're at. And transformational leadership is about changing people's beliefs, ideas, changing people's values or changing the values or the beliefs of the organization, and doing so in a very integrity based way. And what I mean by that is trusting your employees, trusting your followers to develop themselves, not only for their own good, but also in turn for the good of the organization for which either they work or they volunteer. So how are these types of leadership, so both transactional and transformational, accomplished? So just to draw a comparison very quickly, transactional leaders, again, these are the ones that reward the good, punish the bad, the very rules and compliance based, right? They're very big into contingencies and rewards. Sometimes they can be hands off. It's called management by exception. They only get involved when they need to, and they're very much into standard setting and performance appraisal. So again, very much into, making sure that there's a lockstep way of doing things, making sure that there are, bars that are set and that people, live up to them, and that bar is raised, which is good, right? It's very, it keeps people on track. It keeps people, at least to some degree, motivated, if nothing else but out of fear, so that they don't get fired or released or whatever. But on the other hand, transformational leadership follows something called the 4 Ps: purpose, perspective, patience, and persistence. Purpose. What does purpose mean? Means sharing your vision and hiring other people that have that vision so that they work toward that same goal. Perspective is basically having or making decisions based on rationality and fairness. And if you're a rational and fair person, you'll have more followers, more people that are likely to follow in your footsteps. Patience, to let people learn. Patience when people mess up. Patience to bob and weave when things don't go as you had planned. But that's always important because life is life, right? And then persistence, being committed and focused to the goal or the cause at hand. Super duper important with transformational leadership. So again, that's just to begin us talking about management and leadership, and we can go on from here. Thank you so much.